Hey everybody, welcome to another Shop Talk video. Today we want to talk about humidifiers. This is a topic that we promised to discuss in one of our videos about guitar care, and this is something that we deal with pretty much every day here in Utah. So our environment is very arid, and then it's cold in the winter, so we're running forced air heat in the house, and that dries the air out even worse. Central air also can do the same. So we want to talk about humidifiers because it's really important to take care of your guitar. We see a lot of repairs in the shop that are related to humidity problems that causes glue joint separations, splits in tops or back and sides, major shifts in the neck, fingerboard shrinking that causes the frets to be sticking out, and all these things either make the guitar uncomfortable or impossible to play. So we want to talk about the most effective thing you can do to prevent these kind of problems. So I've got 4 different humidifiers here that are common in the marketplace, and we can talk about the design and the benefits or disadvantages of each one. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the dampit. These have been around forever. This is one of the first commercially available humidifiers. It's basically a rubber tube with holes in it. There's a sponge inside that you just basically wet that sponge, and then you hang this in the strings inside the sound hole, and then you can put this cover over the sound hole as well. Some people use that, some people don't. You can remove it. This is, like I said, the first commercially available solution. It's better than nothing, but it's not really what we would recommend. They're not as effective in terms of there's a really quick maintenance cycle on it. You have to wet that sponge very, very frequently, and that could be kind of a pain. And then it just doesn't maintain a good humidity level. There's more technology available now that allows the moisture to escape at the proper rate to maintain the humidity, and also holds a lot more moisture, so you don't have to redo this so often. So I'm going to talk about one here that's got a lot of technology involved. And when these first came out, you know, it was like supposed to be the perfect solution. So this is called the Oasis OH1, and there's a lot of technology in this. So this is a tube of fabric that's basically a two-way membrane. So it allows, it holds moisture inside, but it does allow it to escape as water vapor. Those of you who are fishermen, this is basically what breathable waders are made out of. And that in and of itself was my first hesitancy about this product, as I'll discuss here in a minute. So basically what they've done is filled this fabric with some humidigel crystals that are supposed to maintain the suspension of the water so it wouldn't leak through this fabric. And then to make it convenient, they have a syringe in the packet that you can fill with water, and then you can just use the syringe to insert the water through the cap in the top. There's a bracket that you can attach under the cap so that you can hang this in the strings. So the first thing, we'll go back to those of you who've had waders. This is made to, as it dries out, shrink. Those of you who had Gore-Tex or breathable waders know that at those seams it's eventually going to leak. And we have to replace waders, depending on how much you fish, periodically. So that worried me about this. Their answer to that was to put the humidigel crystals in there, and then that would keep the water suspended. So great in theory. Personal experience, the experience of our shop and thousands of guitars, these do eventually leak. And if you don't believe that, if you buy one of these, you get a warning label. So basically their answer is don't allow it to crease, although that's what it does when it shrinks up, and also that you need to replace these crystals pretty much every year. The fact of the matter is most people forget to do that or aren't even aware of it, and they do eventually leak. We experienced several expensive guitars where these leaked and caused pretty significant damage. So if you're going to use one of these, it appears to be a good solution. It does maintain the proper humidity level until it leaks, and then it provides way too much humidity. The next solution that I want to talk about is the Music Nomad. This is the MN300. This is a very well thought out solution that we actually like quite a bit. So basically this is just a canister with the lid on it. This is perforations in the canister, and then it comes with this special humidibar sponge material. Now this is not a typical sponge. It holds way more water than what you'd think of as a sponge, and the cells are so small you can't really even see texture like you would in a sponge. So basically you can put this in a bowl of water and it'll soak up a ton of water without dripping. So you can wet that, put it in inside of here, and then this just hangs inside the strings, and you want to keep the instrument in the case. It's another thing we should talk about. No matter what the humidity product is, it doesn't work in open air very well. You need to keep your guitar or your instrument in the case so that it can maintain that kind of environment in an enclosed space. So this particular product, the Music Nomad humidifier, we use this a lot. Never had leakage problems. It holds water for a long period of time. You can usually, in our environment, it's very common to go 10 to 14 days without having to refill the water, sometimes longer. That does vary during the year, like I said, depending on if you're running heat or what have you. So this is a very good solution, very inexpensive, very effective, very easy to use, and we like that one a lot. Okay, so the only product that I'm aware of on the market that actually does humidity in both directions is the Riverdale humidipak system. So this actually has the ability to maintain 45 to 50% relative humidity in either direction. So if I were to have this my house and it's needing to release moisture because my house is only 20%, so it's trying to keep it above that, it will do that. And then when I decide I'm gonna fly to a coastal area and it's very humid, it will actually reduce humidity within the case if that's what's necessary to maintain that level of humidity. So these are a very, very good system. Basically, this is a sealed pack, because we want these to stay good, of 3 of the humidipaks, and the way you use them is to put them into these fabric pouches. One goes up by the headstock in the case. This one has 2 pouches in it, and you hang those in the sound hole. That keeps the entire case humidified. It's a very good system. Like I said, it's the only one that can work in both directions. As you might expect, this is a little bit more expensive way to go. You do have to buy these packs. They last, our experience has been they last in the 60 to 90 day range. Some people experience less, some people experience more, but you do have to purchase those periodically to keep that protection for your instrument. So generally speaking, there are some other options on the market. There's some that are actually basically a sound hole cover with the sponge in the sound hole cover. Do not use that one. It's marketed under a couple different brands, but that one tends to, well, you scratch your guitar putting it in and out very easily, and it tends to swell the sound hole wood just because of the way it releases moisture, so we don't even really deal with that one. But basically, keep your instrument in the case, keep a humidified environment for it. This is something when you get the guitar new, if you're really diligent about that, it'll actually start to become accustomed to the environment where you live. It'll become less and less important to stay as on top of it. If you live somewhere like we do where there's a seasonal change that's pretty drastic, really pay attention to this in the winter, because the heating that you're doing in your house is really drying the air out. You experience it as dry skin, cracked skin, sinus problems. Your guitar experiences it as cracks and shifts in the wood that make it not play as well as it should. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this information, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media, and we'll see you later.